So I'll call this meeting to order. Thank you everyone for coming. And I'll read my little speech here. Pursuant to Mass General Law 30, Chapter 30A, Section 20F, after notifying the chair of the public body, any person may record or transmit this open meeting. This hybrid meeting is being recorded by the town of Stockbridge. The names of members participating remotely will be announced. Any member of the public wishing to speak must first receive permission from the chair. The agenda items listed are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, but not all may be discussed. And other topics not listed may be brought up for discussion by the public body as permitted by law. So we have Shelby and Eric joining us via Zoom, and presumably Abigail will also be coming in a minute.
So for the minutes, you should introduce yourself.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Mike Util, just a little bit about myself. I grew up, my dad was a caretaker over at Chesterwood. So I grew up there, and then a little bit at the Marions, a couple of years at the Marions. I was out in Colorado essentially for about 20 years doing tree work out there. My kids were growing up. I've been back in town since last October. So I worked on the utility vegetation management side, line clearance. I worked on the private side of tree care, and then I worked 5 years on the municipal side for the city of Colorado Springs. So this is my first meeting, obviously. I'm just feeling it out and seeing if and where I can fit in or contribute or anything like that. So.
That's great.
And can you spell your name for me from the minutes?
Michael, common spelling, and then Dutil, D-U-T-I-L.
Oh, you're a Dutil. Okay. Got it.
Yes, yeah. There you go.
I was president of Laurel Hill Association for a while, so.
Okay, yeah. My dad's been in just about everything, so, yeah. So, well, it's nice to meet you guys.
Likewise.
Well, we're happy to have you. All right. First off, everyone, is there any updates to the minutes from last meeting?
They look good to me.
Right.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from September 8th.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, Matt. All right. So first up on the agenda for tonight is just a quick update about the Tree City application. I think we have everything we need into the computer. The one thing I'm just gonna go over one last review after with Lisa, just to triple check we got everything in the right place. And then I'm gonna bring it to Michael to get signed within the next day or two. And we'll have that sent out. Finally.
Very exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. That's all I have for that. So
Once we hit the send button on that, we'll start to work on a bylaw.
yes, we can put that onto the next agenda. All right, so moving right along, last week we had a great guest, Peter, who shared about the new ag powers that ag commissions have. And I shared in the email the PowerPoints again that he shared with us. And I think what perked our ears the most, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that we really were intrigued by the notion that AgComs do have an authority to potentially support and receive funds to purchase farmland in the town. I think that was the biggest reveal to my understanding. And I also shared a copy of the whole law, the Massachusetts General Law. But my understanding, and this is my question, is it sounded like we had to potentially pass this in a town meeting, in a forum, and share it with the whole town, that we would kind of be asking for this permission. to then going through the future, being able to request funds. That was my understanding.
Permission to incorporate the powers into our.
Our committee.
Okay.
That's how I took it. That's what it sounded like.
That's what I got from it as well, that we basically, that town meeting has to adopt it, adopt this general law, chapter, section, whatever, in order for the town to say, yes, we want our agricultural commission to do these things,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
or to have these authorities.
He was very interesting, Eric. Thank you for seconding
Yeah.
to the meeting. He had a lot of good information.
I hope you got to see it, the recording of it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he was great.
Along with the possibility of purchasing land and all that, some of the other things that the law provides are really interesting, like doing research and making an agricultural plan. It's just really getting an understanding of what agriculture is being done here and how can we promote it. An agricultural preservation fund is great, to be used for a variety of things. One thing that I did notice, a commission shall consist of not less than 3, no more than 7 members, who shall be residents of the municipality. A majority of the members shall be farmers or employed in an agriculture-related field. If such, if they're not available, then the commission shall include a majority of members with knowledge and experience in agricultural practices or knowledge of related agricultural business. So I think we're covered there. I wanted to put this out, just to make sure everybody was aware of that particular bit.
I know in the Concom, forestry is included under agriculture. Is it the same under these powers?
Yeah, where did I find that? There was something to that effect.
Yeah, because so Massachusetts, it's in the PowerPoint. Once I exit out, I don't want to do it right now because I have the page, but Massachusetts definition of agriculture under chapter 128, section 1A, includes agriculture, aquaculture, floriculture, horticulture, forest products, and lumber operations. I would consider that close enough forestry.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that's, yeah, and so that's right. And so, and it says in this section, for the purposes of this section, farming and agriculture shall have the same meaning as ascribed to them in section 1A of chapter 128. So.
The other thing he mentioned but didn't spend a lot of time on is coordination between these agricultural forestry commissions in different towns. And I know Sheffield and Great Barrington both have these commissions. I don't know how active they are, but I have long wanted for us to coordinate with those towns, just to, even just a joint meeting occasionally to see what they're doing, what we can learn, what we might do together.
Yeah, maybe, it sounds like a couple action things that we can work on is figuring out the exact language we need to incorporate into a presentation for the town meeting that we would incorporate and get approved. And then also figuring out maybe having a pre-summer meeting or something like that, see if we can get some community members from the other ag commissions that abut us maybe to keep it kind of centralized, and see if any of them want to come and have a mingle just to see what's going on. And maybe if we could convince Peter to kind of help organize that and say we're on board and we can help reach out, but maybe it would behoove us if it came from him.
Hmm.
If they were kind of organizing it, and they
Mhm.
probably would want to call a bunch of people. That, it seemed like he was into that.
Yep. Was my impression.
So maybe we can lean on him a little bit to see if they could maybe organize and say, we're up for it, and helping promote it. Was there any other of the new powers that really stuck out, or that would be something kind of urgently that we would need to take action on?
Maybe just run it by Michael.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, if I go submit the Tree City, and I can snag him for a second, just go over it.
Yeah.
Because I do think a long-term strategy, which Shelby brought up, kind of is coming up with a farm agricultural plan for the town. A broader, more researched, and I think we've talked about a lot of ideas for farming in our town, in Stockbridge. But to actually, maybe if there's a grant out there to help us fund a survey or slash try to organize our thoughts on it.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, but
Any other lasting thoughts?
You know, I think that we really need to figure out how to, um, what a town warrant item, should look like, and how do we educate the town, the public about this thing without getting into, too much technical stuff. But giving enough information so people know what they're voting about.
Right.
right, and that, I think that's a good conversation to have with Michael,
Mhm.
because I think that gets done way ahead.
Yeah, like I think we're right on track if we start right now.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, even if we don't have the language or the exact wording. So what I'll do, and just to keep me honest, shall we put it in the notes? I'll ask Michael about it. The one question, I just want to make sure that I'm pulling from the right. I have the copy of the law, but I forget which subsection of it talks about oh, maybe maybe this is it. I guess it would be section G. It talks about commission may receive gifts, personal property, interest in real property as described as subsection municipality. Shelby, do you have the document up? I don't want to take too much.
Yep.
Yeah. You see section G,
Yep.
is that the language we're looking for?
Yeah, that's the part about what we can do with our money.
Gotcha.
Oh, that is-
And
Okay.
and that we can raise or transfer funds, that town meeting may raise or transfer funds to enable the commission to acquire, or purchase, lease, or otherwise, get land or water rights, conservation or agricultural restrictions, easements, etc. And then the commission would manage and control the interest in land acquired in that manner. And also the commission can adopt rules and regulations governing the use of land and water under its control, and prescribe civil penalties not exceeding a fine of $100 for a final event. But so that's, and then section H is about how the municipality can appropriate money to go into the agricultural preservation fund. The treasurer is the custodian, and then that fund would be available to us for any purpose authorized in this law section.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
Why don't you ask Peter for
Mhm.
the bylaw that he'd recommend?
Yeah.
Oh, good idea. Of course, other towns have actually drafted bylaws that author, that adopt this thing, so there should be language available.
Mhm.
I would think so.
Eric, because Peter, can you email him, just ask him for a bylaw he likes, that he thinks is a good representative? And then, have him send it to you / us. That's good. Yeah. So it seems like G and H and that language also kind of implies, in whatever language we come up with, a kind of like a CPA. There seems like it's a farming preservation. It's kind of, we were talking about CPA, but it's kind of just like CPA. We're not necessarily taking funds from it. We would create a separate whole
Yeah, it would be totally,
process.
it's different funding source.
Gotcha. Okay.
You could also apply for CPA money, but that's separate from this.
So maybe, and hi Abby, we see you there.
Hi, Abby.
Hello.
Just so you know, we started, we're talking about the new or the new ag and forestry powers. So I think it also sounds like then if everyone, I'm gonna keep this on the agenda, I think, for our next meeting, because it also sounds like we should start thinking about rules somewhat. If people are receiving funds that we are collecting, especially in that section G.
It may be in the bylaw.
And it might be in the bylaws that Eric gets from Peter. So, but just start thinking about that. And then when we get that bylaw, I'll share it and we can kind of look it over and see if there's any tweaks we want to add. All right. All right. Any other questions about that? Cool. All right. Inventory. I put this on and then I forgot what this was in reference to. Yes.
So I started doing an inventory of trees on Main Street from the First Congregational Church to Town Hall. And one was done, Teresa sent me an example of one that was done, I think, maybe 35 years ago. And I haven't matched it up yet with, I mean, some of the trees would be the same. But I'm basically, and I've finished the south side of the street and coming back on the north side of the street, I'm up to where I live. So I have a ways to go to get down there, but I should be able to get it done in the next week or so. And basically taking tree species, DBH, condition, and noting anything special that's going on with the trees. Partly for historical reference, but also what interests me more is just to get a sense of which trees are doing well and which trees are really not doing well. And it's been pretty consistent in terms of what I'm seeing so far. Once I do it, I'll write something up. But with an eye towards eventual replacement, there's a lot of trees that are going to need to be replaced, I think, in the next few years. Whether the town does it as a massive project or individually, I don't know. But I'd like a sense of what's doing well. And my data, I think my data is pretty good. I'm using Seek to identify the trees I don't know. And sometimes if it doesn't know what it is, it calls it a red maple, and it's clearly not a red maple. So I may need some help with, I don't know how good your ID skills are, but I may ask you if you're willing to just go take a second.
Go for a walk, yeah.
Take a second look at some of them.
And while you're doing this too, are you gonna think about potential species that we want to look at for replacing?
I'm just gonna note.
Just which ones are there?
What's there and what's doing well.
Gotcha. Okay.
In terms of being able to tolerate street conditions, which is not easy to do.
Yeah.
And climate changes.
Yeah.
And drought. All of
Then
the. But some trees are looking really good and some just, consistently don't look good
Mhm.
for everyone I see. So I think it's just good information for whatever planning the town wants to do going forward in terms of replacements.
Gotcha. Awesome. Any questions? Oh, that'd be great. That'd be real fun to see. So whenever that,
I think it'll be done. I'll at least have the inventory done. I don't know how quickly I'll write something up, but
Yeah.
I'll have the inventory done in the next couple of weeks.
perfect, and then we'll just review it when it comes in.
Yeah.
All right, moving along. Final discussion is this grant opportunity, which seems to me to be a little, we're up against it, I think, because it's due by the end of this month.
And this is a DCR grant?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see, what the DCR or I
I
think
think it's Fisher
and
Wildlife.
Fish and Wildlife, that's what it is, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it strikes me, looking at the habitat types that they support and what kind of work they support. One of the things that they support actually Campusa Bog would qualify. For what that's worth, if there's any work that would be good to do there. They do mention calcareous
Mhm.
as a,
So what do you envision?
well, and that's not really our thing. I mean, we're not, there is a Campusa Bog group, obviously.
Well, Matt's the chair and I'm the secretary. So
Yeah.
talk
Right.
to
A lot of
us.
crossover.
Yeah. So that's, I was thinking that the two things that strike me is in our Stockbridge Mountain Stewardship Plan, the first priority that that Jeff brought, suggested was invasive plant control, planting trees and shrubs and thinning. And those are things that the grant can be used for. And the other thing was habitat subtypes being supported, including Campusa Bog, which struck me. So, yeah, we don't have a lot of time. And we need.
I mean, to be fair, it's not, I realize they haven't given people a lot of time because it only came out a few days ago. So
Yeah.
they are seeming, they didn't open up for a long period of discussion. So that being said, they have prescribed burns on here, mowing, invasive plant control, like Shelby's saying, tree clearing. In our Stockbridge Mountain plan, did we have one of the strategies was on habitat?
One was, but that grant was for old growth characteristics.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, I think that that DCR has a grant program for once you have a stewardship plan,
Mhm.
they have a grant program for action, taking action on the plan. So we could actually look at that as as its own thing anyway. I dropped that. I need to look back at that and see what.
That one was so easy
Mhm.
to do. I would like to go that route again instead. That was really simple and we did it pretty quickly and it got done.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And in terms of Campusa Bog, I know they just treated for invasives not very long ago, and anything that's done there would have to go through a lot of hoops to get done. It's such a complicated place and there's so many people and agencies involved.
yeah,
There's no way we could get that done by the end of the month
yeah.
for the bog.
Yeah.
Well, then let's then I suggest that we put this aside, but know that there may be another one next year. So and presumably it wouldn't be all that different from this one, so we could start thinking about it early and wait for the application to come out. And then I will follow up, look into the action grants for stewardship plans, see what the deal is on those.
Yeah, and now that we know, I forget the forester's name, but now that we know them pretty well, they may be able to come back out here and look at something with us and give us some ideas.
Yeah, well, we certainly have Jeff Jordan who did the plan, and
Mhm.
then we've got the DCR guys who are very supportive, so.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no,
I'll
that
look on
would be
that.
good. My only, I always have a concern about invasive management and herbicide use, so that's just to throw it out there. I'm never in favor of herbicide use for invasive control.
Yeah,
And there's different opinions, I know, but
well, when I was at Laurel Hill Association and we used Jess Toro, I liked her kind of hybrid approach where they do mechanical, basic mowing and getting things down, and then hand painting, the cut stems, so that it was not, it was labor intensive, but it wouldn't put a lot of stuff into the environment.
Mm-hmm.
But, we have to see what kind of action would be recommended for the Stockbridge Mountain property.
mhm.
And my memory correctly too is it's hard to access.
Right.
It's really hard to access. So,
And I thought there were only certain areas where the invasives really were a problem.
yeah, it seemed like from my memory, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, it seemed like it was lower down on the hillside towards the road,
Mhm.
where it's kind of steep too. So when is the other grant you were just talking about?
DCR?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
roughly, is
In my
it
head.
spring? Is it a spring?
You remember when we submitted that?
No, well,
I thought or was it rolling?
yeah, I think it was rolling, that it came out in the spring and that basically they gave out the money until they ran out.
Mhm.
And so that I think we have time to get into that one.
And is that the only property we're thinking about? Are there other properties in town that might benefit? There's other conservation restrictions, I know.
Yeah, well, I think this grant is really nice. I'm trying to think in terms of our forest properties that we're, primarily responsible of. The other ones that are popping into my head, unfortunately, I don't think are in our purview, but like Campoose Bog and Gould Meadows. It seems that the way I'm reading a lot of this, especially I think if you go in and read their criteria and what they're basing a lot of stuff on, seems like unless we had a thought for the forest to really like.
Well, was the DCR include fire management?
I think so.
Because we've talked about that a few times for Ice Glen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That might be worth looking at.
So it sounds like I think we keep this on the map, but I can't, it doesn't seem like we have a real,
Maybe we can review the application before the next meeting.
Yeah.
And see what ideas.
Yeah.
yeah,
But fire management would interest me,
Yeah.
given we're in another drought.
yeah. Yeah, and I think, this grant, I don't know if it really, but it has prescribed burns, but I don't think anything we in our purview is
Yeah.
gonna
Do that.
do that or need for kind of do it for us. So if we want, look back on that application, see about potentially doing fire management, a project around that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. And any final thoughts for that before moving on?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, so I think we have a few action items that people will come back together and we'll kind of put this stuff get more of this rolling. Is there anything else, anyone that may have popped up between me sending out the agenda and now that we should know about?
Mm-mm.
This is really thinking towards the future, but I'm already excited for Arbor Day. And I'm wondering every year. So, I know there was the event at the library last year, and I'm not suggesting we even talk about it today, but I guess just thinking about talking
Well-
about it in the future.
So I'm really, and I did speak with, because I'm on the green team at Riggs, I talked to them a little bit about it. There is money in the tree warden budget for planting, so I'd be very happy to use some of that to buy seedlings this year. And I thought maybe in coordination with the highway department too, because I know, forget the gentleman's name, sorry, the head of the highway department.
Oh, Bob David now.
He told me, when he was in Cheshire, he did it, and he was very excited to do it again, so I thought maybe we can coordinate,
Yeah,
and see how to do it again, and I'm all in favor of getting more seedlings out there, so,
Make an event out of it.
yeah, we've done it a few years, we didn't do it last year. But, and maybe think about a different location, I don't know, but I'd be very up for doing it again. You know, we got a lot of trees out there, which was good,
Right, that was fun.
was fun.
all right.
I'm glad you're thinking about it.
Gotta keep us going.
Right.
All right, so our next meeting would be November 3rd. There's no holiday, I don't think. So we'll make November 3rd, 5. And if anything else comes up in between, just keep sharing. Hopefully we'll hear back from Peter. We'll get the Tree City out. And then we'll start getting this bylaw together. All right,
Okay,
anyone,
make a motion to adjourn?
do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, thank you, everyone.